Rick Without the K James presents, in my opinion, podcast.
So just one of those crazy questions, since we were talking about the differences between boys and girls. You have a 17-year-old boy? Is that
No,
or a 17-year-old daughter?
Yeah, it's like 19.
So if you had let's say you had a 15, 16-year-old boy, and he came to you and said, "Dad, I got my girlfriend pregnant." What would be the difference between that and if your 13-year-old daughter came to you and said, "Dad, I'm pregnant"? How would you handle that difference? Would you go straight into violently, or would you try to understand?
I would probably.
Hulk.
Well, now if it's, that's the fucked up thing is if my son, I probably would just be like, "Oh, man, you fucked up," you know. But right now, if it was my daughter, I'd be going to say violently. I'd be violently. I want. Who's this kid? I'm gonna go snatch somebody up. You know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Seriously, how would you approach it?
And it sucks though because you know I feel like we've talked about this before too. Like if my son came with two girls, I'd be like, yeah, boy, get it, you know. But if my daughter was with two guys, what? I'd want to flip out, you know. I'm sexist in that way, you know. And then sometimes I get caught up on it. The old lady would be like, hey, what do you mean? So it would be okay for your son, not for your daughter? Well, yeah, that's you know. I mean, theoretically, but I'm just kidding. But you know, it is different. I think there's a lot of difference with a boy to a girl. I think as a father, I think we have more of a protective stance over our daughters. I know I do. I definitely overprotect my daughters and my son. It's kind of like he's a boy, you know. He's gonna do things and he needs to learn. But I would stand up for him too in a heartbeat too. So
that's sort of the male chauvinist approach that Drew definitely has. We talked about this in the episode 1, and I'm going to get your take on this. We talked about how men can go out and have multiple partners, and they're called stuff like stud, player. Woman's called stuff like slut, hoe. Yeah. You got a daughter. What's your opinion on that? Should a girl be allotted the same number of partners that a man's allotted without any social background?
Well, if she's putting out to me, then yeah. She's putting out to me, yeah, she should be allotted all of them.
No, we're not talking about
my daughters. No.
We're not talking about other people's daughters. We're talking about your daughter.
Hell no, she's gonna stay a virgin forever. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
so you think women?
Well, you know, I think women are definitely held to different standards than they do.
And do you think that's fair?
Do I think it's fair? Well, it ain't up to me, but I mean, no, it's not really fair.
No, but it's your opinion.
In my opinion, no. I mean,
so you believe a woman should be out fucking everybody?
Well, as long as she shoots my way, then yeah. I'm just kidding, babe. I'm just kidding. No, I mean, but that's the way it is nowadays. Now, I mean, women, like I said, they're just as bad as men. They just lie better. That's all.
And we talked about that, and one of the things that I did a little research on is talking about the numbers of promiscuity of people have slept together. Like there was I told you about the numbers I read were like 13.7 lifetime partners for like the baby boomers. And each generation, the Generation X, Generation Z, it seems like
explain that a little bit more, because when you were telling me last night, so that's like by age 30 or
in their
by age
lifetime,
60.
In their lifetime.
The whole life, 13.
Their whole life. And understand
13.
Understand when we're talking about like Generation Z, I think is what it's called right now.
They
were born in 95.
Okay.
So at the most they're 25 years old. And their numbers are already up to 5.9 in a lifetime. So you're looking at about 6 sexual partners by the time they're 25. And a lot of those people a lot of them might be 18, 17, 13 that they're interviewing. So you could have a 13-year-old that's already had 6 people.
Yeah,
okay,
that's more like it.
It's but I'm saying that's statistics. But like
back
I told
to the Snapchat.
Remember, everywhere you have someone who's only had one sexual partner, the statistic is someone else has had 50.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how they're getting the statistics. Because I do have a couple buddies I've told them that have been married to one woman and have had one partner before them. So I know some guys my age that have had 2 or 3 partners in their lifetime.
My grandparents, that was it, just the 2 of my grandparents, but that was, that's a long time.
Correct. And you don't see that
every year it just gets, like my parents, they were divorced and shit, and so it's like, now, me, I was divorced, but we won't talk about that. So I mean, every generation it does get worse, and then just like even with girls nowadays, I mean, you'll see like I don't know what it was, but I know when I was back in junior high school, girls didn't have boobs. You know what I mean? Now you see in junior high, now in 6th grade, you got girls with fully developed and all that. And it's weird because it's like they keep getting more mature, and everything else. I mean, I don't know. I guess.
For me, I'm 52, so I graduated from high school in '85. One of the things I notice, fuck you, that is different than the younger generation is that it's how they dress nowadays. They dress to show that cleavage.
Yeah.
They dress to show that midriff. They dress in shit so fucking tight. And yes, some girls did that when I was young, but everyone didn't do it. And I mean, you see 16 and 15-year-old girls nowadays with boob jobs. What would you let your daughter do that? What father does that?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't.
But they probably do, right? But to that fact, how many times as a dude have you walked into a store and you're like, God, and then you realize you're looking at a 16-year-old and you're like,
it happens a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be like,
because it's the way they're dressed. You know, you just
yeah.
see the silhouette of the body, and then that makes you feel like an old dirty man, right? But you're like, but it's something. You know, it's something in our DNA that we're supposed to look at them like that. You know what I mean? So it's not really my fault, but for me to say it out loud, that I'm a dirty old creepy man, right?
But as a father, what goes through my head, and we've talked about this, someone's letting her dress like that. And if she's 16 years old and she's built like that, there are 19 and 20-year-old guys out there trying to get with that because she's got a kicking little banging body. And her mind is not strong enough. She hasn't learned enough in life to understand how she's built and to be able to deal with those fucking 20 and 22-year-old predators. And they're out there chasing those 16-year-old fucking girls.
Get it.
But it's the truth.
I wish I was 16 again.
I tell people, man, if I knew then what I know now, boy, I'd be banging bitches left and right, bro. Where, we had it written down as a point where I want to make this point is when women do have multiple partners, right? Here's a telltale sign for you guys out there, right? And women are gonna hate me for saying this shit, but I'm gonna say the truth, all right? That if you have multiple partners and your girl is always getting DUIs, that too, right?
That too, yeah.
UTIs. It's because she's got multiple partners. Like a woman, as we've said, being nurses, right? Like a woman's not built to just keep getting penetrated by multiple fucking dudes. So when your woman's coming to you and they're like, "Oh, I got another UTI," you better be concerned, motherfucker. All right? If she's on Bactrim like more than fucking once a year, she's doing some nasty shit. I'm just saying. So
I have read a lot of articles where they will talk about the natural flora in a woman's body. The more partners she changes, the more likely she is to get a UTI, and also the more likely she is to have cervical cancer. A woman who stays with one partner, her flora will naturally adapt to his natural body fluids, and you're going to have less UTIs. So that's a tell sign of a woman who's having a lot of sexual partners is a lot of UTIs.
see, now you guys are learning something.
There's the facts behind it, bro. That's the facts. That's a fact.
So we were talking about multiple partners and stuff. We talked about this earlier before the show, and I want to get you guys' take on this because this is where I'm a math person. I'm into statistics. So every one of these different generations, the the millennials, the baby boomers, the Generation X, Generation Z, they each get a little higher on numbers of lifetime partners, 13 to 15 to 17, but the guys are always about 6 above. Like, so if a guy's had 13 partners, women are averaging 7 in a generation. If the guys are averaging 10 and a half, the women are averaging about 5.5 per generation. Now, if you're a statistic person like I am, you've got 11, 12 guys out there fucking, you only have 5 women fucking, how come the numbers aren't adding up? Is it because men are lying, or is it because women are lying about how many partners they're having, or both?
It's because women are lying. It's not because of both. All right? Women will tell you about, again, say Chris Rock joke, shit. Women will tell you about the boyfriends they've had. That's how many. They won't tell you about the miscellaneous dicks that they've had. So a woman will always tell you. I make that joke. I say, when I hook up with a woman, I ask her what her number is. Not because I give a fuck. You know what I mean? I don't care how many. You can say 5, you can say 10. I know it's a fake ass number. But I only keep it in the back of my mind because if you tell me I've been with 8 partners and then we're together 3 years later and I ask you again and you say, oh, I've only been with 15. Bitch, I'm not a mathematician, but 1 plus 8 does not equal 15, you dirty bitch. So you better remember what number you fucking told me. You know what I mean? So
keep your life straight?
Yes, keep your fucking life straight because the moment you tell me that number, that's it. I will forever know that fucking number.
You tattoo it up. Yeah. That's what all those numbers are.
In my brain. And it's happened before. I got my last stuff in cuffs. You know that bitch, right? I say that because she used to like being handcuffed and Lee used to give me shit. Yeah,
that's for episode 3. That's episode 3.
Yeah, Lee used to be like, oh, she wants to get stuffed in cuffs tonight, right?
So Lee, how do you feel about the differences in the numbers? Do you feel like women are lying too?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Because you talk about how promiscuous. I mean, I made the joke about the 1995, the Generation Z, averaging 5.9 partners already, and you're saying fuck that. That's 13 years old.
Yeah, that's some shit. I think they're just full of shit. I think what it is they're because I guess how people look at it is like, well, she slept with this many guys, she's a slut. You know, so they don't want to judge them. So they'd be like, no. They do it. They say the boyfriends or whatever, and the miscellaneous dicks, and the one night stands, and the little too drunk to remember, and all this bullshit. They're not counting those. Women are just as dirty as men are. They're even dirtier, I think. And that's what I like.
I heard there was a joke one time.
That's what I like.
One of those old movies I watched where it talks about the number 3. Whatever a woman tells you, times it by 3. And whatever a man tells you, divide it by 3. because they both lying.
Because we want to look like, yeah, we get it, you know what I mean? Yeah, I've only slept with 2 girls, but yeah, it's like 10 bitches.
Yo, it's your boy Charlie Murphy, my main man, Rick James. That's the one you think, the comedian Rick James. Get up on him.